What's good, everybody? It's your boy Dallas coming to you again with another YouTube video. This video today is an introduction to private mortgage lending with my friend Mr. Brian Burr. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and also subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Thanks.
It's better when it's raw.
It's totally raw. Today we have Mr. Brian Burr here, and he's going to tell us a little bit. We're going to have a conversation a little bit about private mortgage lending. So, Brian, give us a little bit of intro, about what you do, who you are.
Okay. Yeah, short story is, but my background is, I started off years in medical device sales, selling total joints, hips, knees, shoulders for people with arthritis.
Okay.
And we sold directly to surgeons. And so we had a couple small companies that we worked with, and I realized pretty quickly that I didn't want to have a job forever, that I really wanted to find some type of way where I could replace my income with passive income, which is something we've always read about, and with a lot of the books that Dallas and I read. But trying to find a way to replace that 9-to-5 income with something to where if we choose to stay in for a day and relax, we can still expect that check to show up and hit the mailbox.
Mm-hmm.
So early on, I was trying to find a way out. Even though I was happy making good income, I was trying to find a way out of that, career.
Definitely.
But which has kind of led me to private lending. I wish I would have found something sooner. But I think a lot of the topic we're going to discuss tonight is things that cash flow and on how you can replace your income over time with just with a few things you can implement. Buying assets, things like that. So.
Okay, excellent. So basically, Brian and I have known each other almost 3 years now, maybe 4 years. I'm not even sure. We met each other in Toastmasters, which is a public speaking organization, kind of association.
Yeah.
And we had friendship basically brewed, and it was excellent. We had a good time. We talked a lot about education and kind of growing, especially in the finance arena, because we both realized that although 9-to-5 jobs were important to at least establishing an income,
right,
over the long term, they weren't going to be suffice for the type of retirement or lifestyle that we really were shooting for.
Right.
Brian, tell us a little bit more about how you got into private mortgage lending.
Yeah, it was kind of by accident. Whenever you go down this rabbit hole of trying to find things that will pay you passively, that are truly passive.
Mm-hmm.
Generally people when they go to school and they come across normal people, they say you need to establish a retirement plan like 401k, which is, in my opinion, the very slow way to even get rich, and that doesn't even guarantee you to get rich. It's through 401k. So the other option is they're going to try to push you towards stocks, bonds, things like that, equities, and obviously if you don't know what you're doing there's risk assessed to that. But the things that you and I try to look for is things that we have an immediate control over. Like you and I can't predict the stock market. We can't necessarily control it from going up and down. But things we can have a dramatic impact on today is reducing our overall debt consumption, like things that we're buying that we don't necessarily need. And then also how to become a better person to drastically change our paycheck.
Yeah.
How can we become more valuable today? So we're going to increase our income column, decrease our expense column,
liabilities,
and then we have more cash, disposable incomes, where we can start looking at things that can cash flow us and retire us.
Yeah.
So that's things that you and I have every single person should have control over to that degree, without knowing anything else about stocks, real estate, private lending. Everybody has the ability to control those two columns.
It's important here to define what retirement means for Brian and I, because I don't think our definition of retirement is like the typical American definition, which is probably to stop working at a typical job and sit at home and watch TV every day, or maybe take a cruise every now and again. That would be nice. But retirement for us is not necessarily an age thing, or after putting 20 years at an organization to get some kind of pension, if those exist still. But really it's to create multiple, as many as we can, income sources that fund us. And passive income is is the way to go. And private mortgage lending fits so nicely into that bundle. So tell us a little bit more about like how you're getting involved with private mortgage lending right now.
So the story about how I got exposed to or got introduced to private lending is I was actually a landlord, had 4 houses, and I knew real estate was an avenue to achieve passive income. So people were saying, do real estate, buy some houses, get some renters. And I actually had some really good tenants in place of my houses. But I did get the occasional phone call, which I did not like. Right? Something's broken down, a pipe or whatever. But I had to go and fix that as the landlord, trying to be a good steward of the tenant. Well, I ended up selling those 4 rentals, and I was sharing that story with someone at a real estate convention, someone that was called a note buyer or a mortgage note buyer. And they said, well, look, instead of selling your houses, and getting rid of them, why didn't you just do some type of seller finance note, just own the mortgage, offer financing to maybe somebody that couldn't get traditional financing, and then create a high income or a high interest note, maybe 7 to 10% for 10 years or whatever, and get 10% down. I was like, interesting. So I could have been the bank, not been the landlord, let them be responsible for the taxes and maintenance, and I would just carry the note. Every time they make a payment, I know that I'm getting a good, a competitive interest rate on my asset or whatever. Kind of like being the bank. In the stock market, you don't know if it's going to be a 5% return, a 20% return, a negative 40% return. You just
what will it be this year?
Exactly. and that's how I initially got introduced to notes. Started reading a few books on it, and that's when I fell in love with private lending. It's the exact same thing. You're creating a note secured by real estate, and in the event you have to go take that property back. But if you do your due diligence, there's a lot of books on exactly how to do that correctly, where you can protect yourself. Good real estate attorney, making sure you do due diligence on the loan to value ratio, how much you're going to lend to that person on the asset. As long as you do your homework on that, it's a great investment, much more secure than, say, stock market.